Hey everybody, welcome to the Hamakua Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany, and on this channel I am taking you along for all of the adventures here on the ranch. Today's adventure is super special because we have been invited to participate in Fermented February. My sister Anna over at the Fermented Homestead has invited us to come along and teach everybody and show everybody our experiences about fermentation. Because a lot of us are really new to fermentation, and I know a lot of you might be also. Today I am getting our recipe out of a book called Can It and Ferment It. If you guys have been subscribed to me for a little bit, you know that I do really enjoy this book. Please forgive my pronunciation, I'm pretty nervous about it. Giardiniera. Gotta roll the R. Please don't come after me, I'm sorry. Basically what it is, it's an Italian mixture of 5 different vegetables. One of them is serrano peppers, so that will make it a little bit spicy, but that's okay. This dish is basically a side or a topping. You would put it on top of bread or on top of a taco. Basically what I researched, people will put this on top of absolutely anything. So I'm really excited to give it a try. Let's go ahead and get started cutting up our vegetables. First thing we're gonna need is a 1/4 cup of carrot, which might be roughly 1 whole carrot. 1/2 cup of celery sliced into 1/4 inch pieces, which is roughly 2 stalks of celery. 2 cloves of garlic, which if you know me, it might turn into more. We'll find out soon. 1/2 cup or 6 whole serrano peppers. 1/2 cup of cauliflower florets. And the recipe calls for either 1 grape leaf, oak leaf, or raspberry leaf. And that is to keep its crispness. I do not have access to those, so we are going to cross our fingers and hope that our recipe does not turn out mushy in any way and it keeps its crisp. We'll find out together. According to the book, this recipe makes approximately 1 quart. Okay, so now that we've chopped up all of our veggies, we are just gonna go ahead and mix them all together and put them in our quart-sized jar. Now that all of our veggies are cut up, we ended up with a quart plus the majority of a pint. So we're gonna go ahead and do both. The next step is to go ahead and prepare our brine. To prepare our brine, what we need to do is take roughly 2 cups of water and dissolve 1 tablespoon of salt. After our salt has dissolved, we're going to go ahead and pour it over our vegetables. We want to make sure it's not too hot. We don't want to necessarily cook our vegetables. All right, so we have our brine. I didn't even actually have to heat it up. It dissolved very well on its own. So I have these filled up to about 1 inch headspace. And I'm gonna go ahead and transfer a little bit of the veggies from this one to this one, just to leave room for our weight on top. So I think that should be good. Now the next thing we need to do is make sure that our vegetables stay underneath the brine. That is a major part of fermentation, is making sure that the vegetables or whatever it is that you're fermenting do not have any access to air. Now, there are all kinds of fancy tools and mechanisms out there for fermentation. You don't need them. They are very helpful, but you don't need them. I don't have any available to me at this moment, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use a baggie. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and put salt water of the same ratio. It was 1 tablespoon for 2 cups, which is what the recipe called for. So I'm gonna take some of that water and put it into this baggie and use it for our weight. And the reason that I'm going to do that with salt water as opposed to plain water is just in case anything happens and there becomes a puka, a hole in the bag, and it leaks into our ferment. I don't want it to be plain water. I want it to be of equal ratio with the salt so that even if it does get a hole, it'll still ferment just the same. Always with fermentation and any kind of food preservation, you want to make sure that your hands and your tools are as clean as possible. So I'm going to put a little more salt water in here. And then I'm going to seal it up and take the air out. Trying my best not to spill all over the counter because I'm really good at doing that. I think we're almost there. It's a little too full, but I'm going to scoop these seeds and stuff out because if they're above our weight, then they will be exposed to air and we don't want that. Now that we have everything out of the way, we're just going to go ahead and seal it up. We're going to make sure that everything stays below that level. We are going to set our ferment aside, and this recipe in the book says that it is a 7-day ferment. So we're going to go ahead and check it at 7 days. And during that process, we are absolutely every day need to burp it. Some mechanisms that they have out there, the fancy ones that I'm sure that you'll see in other videos of this collaboration, you don't necessarily have to keep an eye on it as much. But when we're just using a regular canning lid, we will have to come along every single day, open it up, let the gases out, close it back up. Don't contaminate it, don't do anything further. You just want to keep an eye on it, make sure that you don't see anything black growing, any kind of mold. In any ferment, you are going to probably see a white film on the top that is called calm yeast. That is nothing to worry about. If it is white and just very kind of a light texture, that's just calm yeast, don't worry. But if it's slimy, if it's black, if it's green, then you know that your ferment has gone south. And it's gonna happen, don't worry. So we're just gonna go ahead and set this aside at room temperature for about 7 days, and I will bring you along for the process and show you what it looks like. All right, so it's been a week and it is taste test day. I wanna bring you guys down and show you and explain what I've been experiencing with these ferments over the last week. You'll notice that there's a lot of liquid in the bottom of my plates. It has been definitely building up its pressure, its gases, its acids. It has been doing exactly what it is supposed to be doing. I've come along each day and burped each one of them, just let the gases come out with both of them. There were several days where I could not push down on the top because the gases were built up. That was not happening. It was full. So when I released it one of those days and just burped it, a lot of liquid spewed out. It was super active. Always make sure that you are using a clean fork, clean plate, clean everything. Not antibacterial, but clean. The contents has shrunk down quite a bit. There's more room in the jar than there used to be. That might be because of all the liquid coming out, but it is still covered by liquid. So that's an important part. Looks delicious. Smells really good. That's a lot of jalapenos. All right, that's a good mix. It's a little spicy, a little bit of jalapeno. Honestly, I think I want it to ferment a bit longer. All of the vegetables are still super crunchy, which I'm a big fan of. Let me get a clean fork. Try another bite. It's pretty good, actually. This is another one of those topping type of things. You could definitely put it on top of tacos, just like the spicy pickled vegetables that I did a couple weeks ago. It's definitely along those lines, but it's so different because it doesn't have that vinegar taste. It's not stupid spicy like the other one. It's just got that freshness and that crunch to it. And I think after I put it in the fridge, it's gonna slow down the fermentation. After I put it in the fridge, it is definitely going to slow down the fermentation process, but I think it's gonna be good. It's not something that I'm gonna consume all at once. It's going to just be, you know, a tablespoon or two at a time. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it good at that. And then hopefully it'll get a little bit more sour over time. I think I'm gonna call it good right now, but there are always options when it comes to fermentation. Now, I want to go ahead and remind you guys that this is part of the Fermented February collaboration put together by my sister Anna over at the Fermented Homestead. If you go check out her channel, she has a link in the playlist and all of everything that you need to know about the collaboration. Every Monday, she is going to be doing a live giveaway on her regular live on Monday nights, 7 o'clock Central Time. Is it Central Time? Is it?
The answer I found is UTC 6 o'clock, Central Time Zone.
She almost always does those lives, but this month she is also incorporating her giveaways for this collaboration, which is not only sponsored by Anna, but also by Haas Tools. They are a family-owned company, and I highly suggest you check them out. I will definitely leave a link for them down below. The way that you sign up, the way that you don't take yourself so seriously, Tiffany. The way that you could possibly win one of these giveaways is to leave a comment. Not just on this video, but on all of the other videos that all of the other beautiful collaborators have put together for Fermented February. Each time you put a unique comment on one of their videos, that's an entry to win. So make sure you check them all out. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hamakua Homestead. I will see you again soon.